Got a bright light going on right there, but you know what? It doesn't look too bad. I think it's okay. Uh, Today is Tom and Ruth podcasting. Today, what are we going to talk about today? We're actually going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about province life, city life, married to a Filipina, and we're going to start off talking about being married to a Filipina. More and more today is being married to a Filipina. Is this Filipina right for you? I've been here a while, and there's pros and cons. And there are a lot of guys right now that are married and are not happy in their relationships. There are a lot of guys that are married to a Filipina that they're just not, it's not working for them. They thought that it was great and fantastic the first year or so, and then bam, it hit them. A lot of guys has actually said to themselves, okay, I'm going to go back to the States for a while and work on a job. Actually left, and they either found another Filipina there and said bye-bye. Recently, a friend, a longtime subscriber, reached out to me, and he was married to a Filipina here for 4 years. And things actually went sour in the relationship. She wasn't communicating with him. She's always on her phone. She always had tempo all the time. It was just a non-win-win situation. He is in his mid 60s. He's 65. And he got here and he said, you know what? I'm just tired of it. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with the Philippines or fed up with the whole situation. And I'm basically going to head back. And so what he did, he just packed up his clothes and packed up everything. Said, honey, I'm going to go back to the States for a while. And everything was gone. He had sold everything. He left here. He sold everything to come here. This is pie in the sky. Well, his pie in the sky ended up, it wasn't so good for him. It was good in the beginning, but it ended up just turning bad. And a lot of guys are having that happen to them. Why? There's probably 100 reasons. Really didn't get to know the person. Said they loved each other and they really didn't love each other. And or got into a relationship, maybe they shouldn't have gotten in a relationship so soon. For many different reasons. Family's involved in it. Money's involved in it. She married him for the money. He married her because he wanted an intimate relationship. They wasn't getting in the States. And she's probably a lot younger than he is. And there's a lot of variances that way. And a lot of guys get here and they say, okay, this is fine and I'm enjoying myself and I'm really having a good time. And so what do I do in that situation, right? So the guy said, okay, he went back to the States. He found a lady, a wonderful Filipina. And he actually said, okay, he's married to another girl. Can you be married to a Filipina here and married to a girl in the U.S.? Of course you can. Because the States does not recognize marriages here. So basically he did. He married another girl there. He's married to another Filipina that she's been there for a few years. Around the same time he had left there, he went back to the States and got married to another girl. And according to him, he said, Tom, I'm really happy. She understands what Americans do. She understands what Americans talk about. She understands how they feel, what they feel. She understands a man, American man. And a lot of Filipinos really have a hard time understanding American men, not just foreigners. I can only speak for American, because that's what I am. And understanding American men is a lot different than understanding a person from UK. I mean, men are men all over, right? But Americans are built a certain way. All the man requires, number one on their list, is respect. Number one, respect. You respect the man, they're going to respect you. You're going to have respect all the way around. Well, and he said that he wasn't getting that here. The girl, the wife here, was not getting it. And I asked him, I said, did you get a divorce? He goes, no, I didn't get a divorce. I did not. But I did thought that I had to, but talked to the attorney, says, well, no, because they don't recognize, you get married in Bali, you get married in Czechoslovakia, you know, or Thailand. Because guys do it. I know of 3 vloggers that are here now that are married, but were married in Thailand and Cambodia also. I mean, 3 vloggers that are here now. I will, of course, not say their names. But they confided in me and they told me that. So, is it a good thing to be in that situation? Well, I don't know. Being in a relationship is going sour is a bad situation for everybody. And so he said, I'm out of here. And he says, I really can't afford to bring this lady here that I'm married to back to the States. So he goes back to the States. Next thing you know, he meets a lady in a group of a friend of his in the group that got divorced, and they're married and happy, contented, crazy. She takes care of him and he takes care of her. And he said the fault was that she did not understand what American wanted. And I said respect. I didn't go in detail. So American wants respect. American wants someone to pay attention to them. Not as if they're needy, but they'll pay attention. You know, hey, I'm going to go to the store. I'll be back. I'm going to come to town. I'll be back, whatever. And then to have a relationship, an open relationship, where the girls get tied up in their family, get tied up on Facebook, get tied up on games, get tied up on stuff that has to do with the computer and stuff. And then the Americans standing here, or foreign guys standing here, and the Filipinos doing their thing. And that's what exactly how he felt. He said it got to the level where he felt that he was really, it was uncontrolled behavior, that I was just existing in a relationship and I didn't want that. He said the last 2 years were just actually hell for him. So, if you think about it, and this guy is really, I've known him now, a long time, and he reached out to me in an email this morning, and I said to myself, wow, I wonder what happened to you. I wondered why all that happened and what happened. So he told me in detail, and I asked him, I said, I will not say your name or anything. He said, all right, I put your story online. He says, yeah, please put my story online. I'd like for you to tell my story, and maybe it'll help other Americans and or foreigners that are here in the country that are not really having a good relationship and not getting along with their lady. There's other alternatives. And he said, I even left her for a period of time and thought I'd just leave her. And they worked it out, and it didn't work out, and he came back and she begged him back, and it ended up being a sour deal after a short period of time, and she went back to her old ways. So what do you do in those instances? You just do the best you can and you go on. So he went back to the States. He said, I went back, I rented me an apartment, and he's back there lived in an apartment, and eventually met someone. He said, I don't have a lot of money. His check was about $1,600 a month, and he had some savings left that he had saved after spending a small fortune here. He's had about 10 grand, he said, so it was enough that he could survive and try to save a couple of bucks. And he's able to work. He said, I could still go get a job, and work part-time somewhere. So he was contented. And he's really contented now because he ended up finding his Filipina in the States. And they were there all the time. I even thought about that when I was first initially dating, but I had found Ruth and it worked out fine for me. So I ended up coming here. But sometimes you really have to take a look at the situation. Province life, city life, married to a Filipina here or in the United States, what's a good thing, what's the best thing to do. I want to thank everybody for always watching my videos, and thank you so much for coming on. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Podcasting.